Okay there, fellow shopkeepers and do-it-yourselfers out there in YouTube land. I found out on my phone if you push the volume up or down button while you're recording, it ends the video. So here's video number 2. And I've got the subframe clear off of it. Obviously you can see that. And I was trying to maintain the one video and show you how to get all the stuff apart, but these bolts wouldn't come out. They were seized up in the bushing that goes through the lower control arm. I don't know if you can see in there, but this one actually is rotating on the bushing, so it's broke loose. It's no good. This one here is doing the same, rotating on the bushing, so it's worn out. This is the only one that came out, and this one here was seized up. But anyway, so I just ordered more and just got them in yesterday, so it's time to put it back together. But you can see here where this one was rotted apart, and all of this is roached out. Weight reduction, some people call it, but it's definitely strength compromised, and was only being held onto the to the vehicle by the rear mount and through the suspension, which is not the way it's supposed to be. But anyhow, these bolts that go through here and these control arms, all 4 of them, they're the same way. But however, the 2 for the spring carrier or the spring seat, they're longer than these that go in there. But these bolts, the head on the bolt is it's eccentric. In other words, it's mounted off center, so when you turn it, it pushes against these tabs that are pressed into the sheet metal, and when you rotate it, it moves that control arm in and out to adjust your toe in and your camber on your rear wheels. And the inner washer is the same. It's staked here and here, and the way it drives that washer on the outside is the bolt is keyed. And well, let's see, I wanted to show you this so the guys that don't know would know. See how that washer, it's kind of like a thrust washer on a trailer wheel bearing, but it's off center. So when you rotate it, it's staked to the bolt, and it forces it to adjust on this side too, as well as this side. And anyway, let's go over here. And there's a vent that you got to get out here, and one that you got to get out here, and you can look through the holes. I used a long pick, and there's tabs that stick out on the inside, and you can just push that tab in and move that vent sideways, and then push on the other tab, and they come right out. So don't break them. You can reuse them. And that's the vent holders for the differential carrier. So let's go over here. Okay, we got the new cradle, subframe, whatever. It's all assembled, everything's on it. New wiring, the wiring harness is swapped over, and it helped to take some pictures, know where how your wiring harness routes for your speed sensors and the sensor on your differential. And anyway, when you get it in, don't forget to check the differential fluid. I'm not sure what that takes just yet. I haven't looked that up, but I'm sure it's a synthetic oil, probably 75-90 or something, but I don't know. Don't take my word for it. I ain't looked. Anyway, your rear springs set in the carrier. There's a little divot right there that that spring tab sets in. You can feel it kind of lock in. So both of the ends of your coils are going to kind of point to one another. We got it all set in there. The sway bar links, unless you got new ones, they would not come apart. And so I had to put new sway bar link rods in there, link pins, whatever you want to call them, those doodads there. And we're all set up. We're on the lift. The car's up in the air and secure. We'll go underneath and slide it under. Well, maybe you can see a little bit from that angle. Start getting it pushed up under there. Concrete down here ain't real smooth. My jack don't roll too good. Anyway, we're getting there. We're getting there. And you got the shocks hanging down. We got to kind of line into them. And remember, you got one harness connector. We got a hook. We got to kind of feed down through there. Right here, that is. It hooks right under here. Now let's see where we're at up here. I guess you could see. Let's relocate. Well, looked on the other side and everything's looking like it's lining up pretty good. See if we can raise this up a hair. Move over that way just a tad bit. Let's see where our shock is coming through. Keep going up. Coil springs are lining up. Ow. Yeah, that bolt's going through the bushing there. That's good. Okay. Start getting our shocks lined up. Need to kind of tilt the front upward. It's going in. It's going in. Let me stop the video and I'll start getting it secured and we'll come back and check in. Okay, we got it hung. Your little cup goes back here on the back. It's kind of like a cupped washer. Goes on the back. Both of those are tight. And I should have filled this up with oil while I had it out. Been a lot easier. But you need a 10 millimeter Allen to get in there, get that plug out, fill it there. I don't know what the fluid is yet. I have to look into that. But I got the harness plug plugged in up here, big black one. When you just need to make sure all this is tied up and secure so it doesn't get in the CV joints. Parking brake cables are secured. I've got to get them hung up there in the front, get them connected to the front cable, get the drive shaft in. And I got to get these tight yet, but this is your front mount bolt, and this is why it doesn't take that big spoon washer, because it's part of this link here. You got two 14 millimeter head bolts that go in there, and then here same thing. And got the shock in. Just got one bolt that goes through. The nut is welded to the back side, and everything's basically done. Just got to get the parking brake cables put in and get the drive shaft reconnected, and then I'll clean this up and weld this back together and put the exhaust back in, and ship it down the road and get a four-wheel alignment done on it. And this car's back to being secure. It's a pretty sad state of affairs with the way some of those subframes rot out like they do. But I guess that's one reason why you need to go down there to Mike's Express Car Wash and get an underbody wash 2 or 3 times a year. Get that salt out of them. Unless you drive it on the beach, get that salt water on them, you ain't gonna get that off. You guys have a good day. Thanks for watching. Share, like, and subscribe. Comment as you will. Have a good day.